The honourable member for Calgary-Greenway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, I was proud to vote in favour of the member for Calgary Foothills motion favouring Alberta's oil over oil from countries with poor human rights records. Unfortunately, the member for Edmonton-Decorah shouted no during the vote, and we all acknowledge he later voted for the motion, perhaps after his whip intervened to avoid embarrassment for this government. The member even acknowledged on Twitter that he shouted no, saying he was just, quote, playing around, unquote, playing around with the fate of Alberta jobs. Seriously, Premier, will you denounce this member's anti-Alberta views? And if not, why not?
Deputy Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I was proud to be part of the debate yesterday. We heard many points raised on both sides of the House, and at the end of the day, we all came together and had a unanimous vote in support of making sure that we continue to advocate for our product to get not only to Tidewater, but to all markets within Canada. And I think that yesterday was a very good day, very positive result. I have to say that the disrespect that is being demonstrated by members opposite at this very moment is very frustrating, Mr. Speaker. I hope that they certainly stand by the vote that we had yesterday and the unanimity that we had. And Mr. Speaker, can I draw your attention to the very blatant disrespect that's being shown to me at this moment?
First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, alone I could have shrugged off this member's antics, but this is just part of a bigger pattern for this NDP government. The NDP tries to talk a good game, but every once in a while show their true colors. From labeling Alberta the embarrassing cousins of Canada, to appointing anti-oil radical Ms. Berman as the oil sand advisor, to bizarrely calling the vast majority of Albertans that oppose carbon tax xenophobe. This is the true Alberta NDP. Premier, again, I ask if you will lead by example and clearly denounce the member for Edmonton-Decorah.
Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
No.
Deputy Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the tone, the rhetoric, the disrespect is not becoming of elected officials or of our province, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud of the fact that we came together yesterday afternoon to consider a motion brought forward by one of the members opposite. We all engaged in that debate in a thoughtful way. At the end of the day, we voted unanimously, Mr. Speaker. It was a standing vote. The member's vote is on the record, Mr. Speaker, and the accusations coming from the member opposite are not becoming of his office or this House, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, today is election day in BC. It's quite possible that Ms. Berman, as government's hand-picked oil sand advisor, is busy right now campaigning for BC NDP party that's promising to kill desperately needed pipeline to our west coast. That's right. If Ms. Berman gets her way, the next Premier of BC will block the Trans Mountain pipeline. This is who Alberta government is taking advice from. Wow. This is a bad joke, and it has gone on far too long now. Premier, regardless of the outcome in BC, will you finally do the right thing and fire Ms. Berman?
Honourable member, I would remind you again, as well as the other ones, and I've said this several times, particularly today, but also in earlier events, use of the preamble, you've taken advantage of it, and I don't appreciate that, and we are going to have to, if it continues in the manner in which it is, I think we have to enforce it much more stringently than we have. So I would ask you, honourable member, not to do that again. The Deputy Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have to say how proud I am of the Environment Minister, of the fact that she did things differently. And guess what, Mr. Speaker? Instead of getting the same results that we did year after year after year, which was flat out no, we got a different result, Mr. Speaker. By bringing a variety of perspectives to the table, including the member that was just referred to, we got approval for 2 pipelines, Mr. Speaker. This is great news for Alberta. We're making sure that we're showing the world and our country that environmental responsibility and good jobs and market access go hand in hand, Mr. Speaker, and I have no apologies to make for that.